danger lurking around in that particular area, how we people can save the lives inside of the vehicle. So whether the trainee people are available in our area or not, we need to think how we can save the lives, how we can drive the vehicle in a safe manner. If any accident happen, so then what is the damage we people will expect? We can see here a price is has drained electric battery without plug in the future. So without the battery, whether we can implement an electric vehicle car. So what we people need to do, the high voltage battery is around 650 voltage. So coming purely battery type of electric vehicles, the battery voltage, the company say price means it is superior or faster in Italian. So Toyota's energy drive company, they are planning to implement without the battery in the coming generation, where in the coming years, whether we can implement a vehicle or not. Without the battery. Storaging means it take huge amount. So then new technologies we need to do for the battery management system. So without the battery, whether we can implement a new vehicle or not. So can we jump to start that type of vehicle? A 650 voltage battery. If suppose if you are working on a 650 voltage battery, then imagine what is the capacity of the battery. The capacity of the battery in a battery type of electric vehicle, it may be around 40 kilowatt hour, more than that also. A Nissan Leaf type of electric vehicle car, they are preparing 40 kilowatt hour at 40 kilowatt of the battery in a purely battery type of electric vehicle. Within one time, if you are charging, you can drive the vehicle around 300 to 450 miles also. So whether we can able to implement those type of electric vehicles or not. So if suppose if the car met an accident or a Tesla model car, if it met an accident. So in recent trend, so from the recently the first electrical vehicle car was started in 2008. In 2008, Tesla Roadster type of electric vehicle they started. So then these Tesla company people purely they are working on the battery type of electric vehicle. Among we have several automobile industries are there, but those are focusing on Chinese electric vehicle companies and the Japanese electric vehicle companies on or Toyota. These companies they are focusing on hybrid type of electric vehicles. But the people they started purely battery type of electric vehicle, that is Tesla Roadster in 2008. So Tesla, if the car met a fire accident, so whether the sources are available to rescue the people in our surroundings area or not. So what we people need to take, what are the precautions we need to take, we need to analyze ourselves. If suppose if the car met an accident, you people will take the car and then you will visit to the near to the garage. So then how you people will cut the conductors, a live conductor. We people will generally we people will see the people will see in welding shops, right? They will wear some glasses. They need to protect their eyes. If you people are working or if you are working for in the garage to repair a live conductor for an electric vehicle, you need to wear an hazmat expert suit. Now in this pandemic, the people who work working in the hospital, they are wearing the mask, right? They are wearing the suit, right? So to protect ourselves, we need to wear an hazmat expert suit. So then only we need to operate the vehicle. Then only we can cut the live conductor like this. So here, so while we are analyzing this question, what are the type of vehicle we people need to work on, whether it is a hybrid or plug-in hybrid and battery type of electric vehicle. So how we people are imagining the vehicle, how we people are imagining the vehicle. So then in which application we people need to work on it. So several parts of the vehicle we people will work. A single person can't implement the electric vehicle. So the mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, so instrumentation engineer, so design. So several people will work on particular vehicle. So we people, what we can implement as an electrical engineer. So what are the thoughts we need to raise here, and What is the initial? Now in 2021, we people are gathering, then we are discussing more about the electrical car, electric vehicle. From 2020 itself, it's everyone they are talking about the electric vehicle. Coming decade, we can expect more number of electric vehicle. Already UK and Japan, they strictly given by 2030, all the people need to convert it to the electric vehicles only. So they need to avoid the conventional vehicle. So like that, if we people in India, we people will shift it to utilize all the electric vehicles, means we people can save around 20 20 lakh crores of the money we can save, because most of the money we people are investing to import the crude oil. So 80 percentage of the money, which 80 percentage of the crude oil, if you see, we are importing from other countries only. So then the prices will increase automatically, due to the, so the state government, uh, they are putting some extra, like a GST. So then central government also they are putting tax, right? So automatically now it's around 100 rupees. So if you people are purchasing an electric vehicle, and the consumption of the power also will be low. So if you need to travel for one day, if you are planning to travel 100 kilometers, means then it is sufficient to drive an electrical scooter, which will give one time charging nearly 100 kilometers. So for 100 kilometers, if you need to travel, means it will take around 12 units of the power only. 8 to 12 units of the power only it will take. So then you can imagine, in the metropolitan city, the unit cost may be different, and the rural area, the unit cost may be different. So here, what are the thoughts, and when the electric vehicle thought was implemented, when it is originated, what is the history of the electrical car, we will see, then we will go with the practical one. So here, the 3 days, we people will focus on these content: history of the electrical cars, what are the major components in the electric vehicle, traction inverter, what are the types of batteries, how to charge the battery, how to discharge the battery, and the onboard charging application. To charge an electric vehicle, there are two type of chargers also there: onboard charger, off-board charger. So here we will discuss the onboard charger. To implement a onboard charger converter, what are the type of converter topology we need to focus on it, and what are the auxiliaries, ECAS, technology trend, and future and scope for in this area. To research, for research analysis, what is the future scope, and what are the standards we people need to follow, ISO and IES standards, and the references we people will provide here. So the history of the electrical cars, the well-known electrical vehicle cars was started not now. So it is around started 1832. So the first crude electrical car was developed by Robert Anderson in 1832. But when we people, a bunch of people, we have different thoughts. So when we are sharing our thought, we need to show the thought, whatever the thought we have, when the people and the society believe us, means. So when we are showing in a practical manner, so then only the people will convince and they will accept our idea. So the first crude electrical vehicle car was developed in 1832, but it takes 40 years of the time to prove in a practical manner. So you can see the first image and the second image here. It was implemented in 1832, but to prove practical to the world, then the 1884 only, the first electrical vehicle car, crude type of electrical vehicle, was driven in the roads of UK. So this is the today's world. The third figure you can observe here. These are the type of advanced autopilot mode type of driverless cars, which are already implemented by Tesla and another automobile companies. So these are the advanced electric vehicles in today's world that we are driving. So here, the first, so we said three type of electric vehicle cars. So the first hybrid electrical technology also has been around 120 years ago. The first hybrid electric vehicle car was started in 1901, and the Porsche was the pioneer of this hybrid type of technology. You can see here a hybrid electric vehicle car which was driven by using two input sources, either with fuel and another one is battery. In that battery, you can keep the supercapacitor or ultra capacitor, whatever it may be, for storaging with any type of vehicle which is driving by using two input sources. One is fuel or another one, any other source. So then it is called as a hybrid electric vehicle. In this hybrid technology also, they are preferring different type of drive technology, series hybridization, parallel hybridization, combination of both series and parallel hybridization they are preferring. So here in the hybrid electric vehicle and plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, battery type of electric vehicle, the battery weight, depending upon the vehicle, the battery weight, it will be very less. So we will see here what are the high power drives you can see here. So any interesting facts we know about the electrical drives. So we can drive the vehicle either in land or air or sea. So these are the three areas we can drive our vehicle. So whether it whatever the vehicle it may be, electric vehicle, whether bike or scooty or car or bus or train, we can drive either in land or air or sea. So what are the drives we people will know? So what are the drives we people will generally will studied means in our academics, generally in UG and PG level, we people will studied three-phase drives only. Up to single phase and three-phase machines we people will study. So there are two type of machines we people will majorly DC machines and the AC machine. So while we are talking about the electric vehicle, which type of machine you people will prefer for your vehicle? So by replacing we are entirely replacing the electrical combustion engine. We are taking the battery. So in that battery, we people will store the energy in the form of DC only. So then, which type of machine or which type of drive you people will prefer for your electric vehicle? Which type of drive you people will prefer? Which type of drive, either a DC or AC type of drive you people will prefer. So while you people are focusing on the DC, what are the drawbacks? What are the flexibility and what is the flexibility? Is there any complexity in the DC drive? Or if you go with the AC, what is the more advantage you will get? So in the DC machines also we have DC series, shunt, compound, and the AC again we have two types, synchronous and asynchronous we have. So which type of machine you people will prefer? Which type of machine you people will choose generally? Which type of machine you people generally prefer? So this is a bit, let's take a small example. A small DC battery or DC voltage supply. If you take this is a DC battery, so DC supply if you are given. So to drive a DC machine or DC shunt motor, you people can take the power supply. So then with some elements you will send the power supply. So then you can see here. People can observe here. This is a DC shunt motor drive. So DC supply you are going. Then here and induced EMF. So the DC input supply it is around 200 voltage. So induced EMF E is equals to 198 voltage when the machine is running with 1500 RP. This is a DC machine, DC shunt motor you can consider. Take an assumption. So now, if the DC motor speed, I need to reduce the speed of the motor. When I need to reduce the speed of the motor, what actually, if suppose a rickshaw is there, if take an e-rickshaw, if people are driving an e-rickshaw, if two people are sitting means the vehicle speed will be very high. If four people are sitting means vehicle speed automatically will reduce, right? If I need to reduce the speed of the motor, that means I need to increase the load. I need to increase the load. By increasing the load, by adding some additional resistance or by externally, we need to add some resistance. So then only I can reduce the speed of the DC motor. So while we are reducing the speed of the motor, what about the induced EMF? Whether the induced EMF will increase or decrease? Whether the induced EMF. So we are sending the power supply to the DC shunt machine or DC shunt motor. So while people are sending the power supply, then definitely here we are keeping one small resistor. small voltage drop only. So then here we are getting to the stator of the DC 198 voltage. The motor is started to rotate with 1500 RPM speed. Now I need to reduce the speed of the motor. At that point, the induced EMF will increase or decrease. Are you there, right? Yeah. Any idea? I think DC machines so people will study, and the AC machines also. After studying the DC only, we will go with the AC. So the drawback, if people are identified, then it will be very easy. What is the drawback here? What is the? You can tell me whether whatever the thing, whether you are telling right or wrong, it's not a matter. So how you are analyzing the, so whether you people have idea, right? So you have two options. DC machines are there, AC machines are there. The supply for your electric vehicle is battery. So from the battery, you can store the energy in the form of DC only in the battery. You have a mobile battery. In that mobile battery, DC power only you are storing. You have a laptop. In that laptop also you are storing DC power supply only. When you are keeping in your electric vehicle a battery, you will take that DC supply only. Which type of machine you are preferring? Suppose here I am preferring a DC machine. So then if I need to reduce the speed of the motor, then what I need to do? I think you people have DC machines lab, right? So what you have a Rio starter. What you will do? By Rio starter, with the Rio starter, you will increase, right? You can see here. I think you people are understanding. People can observe here, induced EMF either will increase. Once recall the DC machines. What you gone whether second or third year DC machines people will study. So in that DC machine, you will see here, I will induced EMF E is equals to, we will write phi Z N E by 60. So E induced EMF is always proportional to the speed of the motor. So while you are reducing the speed of the motor, half of the speed if you are reducing 750 RPM, then the induced EMF also will reduce 99 voltage. So what happened? You people are adding some additional external resistance. What is the power formula? Power P is equal to VI. We can write it. I, how we can write? V by, here I we can write V by R. V is equal to IR. I is equal to V by R. That means V square by R external. If you are getting 99 voltage, 101 voltage drop getting here only, right? 101 voltage drop here we are getting. So then the losses are increasing, right? So the amount of power which you are getting at your load side, it is very less, then the losses are more. 101 voltage drop. So here the DC machine, if you see through the brushes, people will collect the current. Through the commutation process is going right inside of the DC machine. So then it have more losses, the DC machine. So with the losses, if you are using the machine, you may give the power supply. The losses will more means consumption of the power will be more. So then within the less time, the battery will be over. Again, you need to charge, you need to put the charging for your battery. Then the economically, the customer will face the button, right? While you are implementing a particular product, you are working on a particular product, you need to show the specifications of specification. These are the qualities you have. The product, it has some unique feature. If you are utilizing this product, you will get these benefits. If you are using this type of battery or this type of machine, this machine will come long life. We need to prove that one. But here we are getting more amount of the losses. And the DC machines, if you see, maintenance always we need to maintain. Maintenance, it will take much time, right? So then go with the synchronous or asynchronous machine. So by identifying these are the drawbacks, so we can go with the AC type of machine. So which type of machine you people will prefer? So automobile companies, they are going with the synchronous and asynchronous also. So in those, depending upon the client requirement, the people they are working on the squirrel cage type of induction motor or slippery Compared to the asynchronous machine, again we have two type of machine. Squirrel cage type of induction motor, slip ring or wound round type of motor. So slip ring or wound round type of motor, again there may be drawback. Losses are more. So most of the people, they will go to squirrel cage type of induction motor only. And the permanent magnet synchronous motor, recently they are more trendy. And the permanent magnet BLDC motor, brushless DC motor. And now some of the researchers, they are working on the SRM type of switched reluctance type of motor also. The researchers, they are working on it. So while you people are working on a particular vehicle, either a drive application or a battery management system, you need to give a best thing. You need to give the product should be unique and quality one. So if you are getting more losses or like the drawbacks, so compared to other type of product, you need to give a best quality product. So then only the product will sell. The customer will purchase the product. One time they will see, then another time if they are not satisfied with the product, means they will not purchase the product, right? So here, if you go with the asynchronous machine, in today's world, we in academics usually in UG and PG level, we will go with the single phase and three phase. So in today's world, which type of machine you people, which type of machines are running in the world? How many, which type of phases? So either two phase or three phase. Which type of phase? You can see here to drive a. You can see here a big cargo ship arrived to Chennai harbor. So then to drive that type of heavy ships, you need to give a high power density, right? The drive need high power density. You need to reach an high amount of the speed, means high power density unit. That high power density, which type of machine you people will prefer for this cargo ship? Either single phase or three phase. So in initially 1970s, around in bullet trains, Japan, they will prefer the series connection. They will put the induction machine in series connection. Then the while connecting in the series, the power density will increase. The speed of the vehicle will increase automatically. You can observe the metro city in metro cities. You can observe the vehicle, passenger trains and express trains and the metro rails. You can observe within the fraction of second, the vehicle will take high amount of the speed, around 100 kilometer speed also. The automobile company people also, they will give within the 7 seconds, you will reach up to 100 kilometer. So, but if you observe the express train, after crossing the entire platform also, so it will, after crossing the entire platform only, it will take high amount of the speed. So if you need to drive a big ship, which type of drive you people will prefer? Either single phase is sufficient to drive that much big ship, three phase is sufficient. In today's world, the British scientists and the researchers, they developed in the British naval ship a 15 phase type of squirrel cage type of induction motor drive. To drive a British naval ship, they implemented 15 phase type of squirrel cage type of induction motor drive they implemented, and they given the name as a Destroyer 2. So to go with the 15 phase type of induction motor drive, we need to know how to design, how to analyze the three phase induction motor drive. Before that, we need to know the clarity, what are the equivalent circuit, how we need to analyze mathematically. So if we people are understood the three phase, then we can go with the five phase also. Then we can go with the five phase, six already. There are several type of, so but in today's world, already the United States of America also, they are working on 15 phase type of induction motor drives. But the UK people, they developed the 15 phase type of induction motor drive. They are utilizing in their naval ship. So then you can imagine a three phase machine itself, it need around 440, around two, more than that, right? Around 440 VRMS voltage, the machine need. If you are preferring 15 phase type of induction motor drive for your electric vehicle, so then 15 phase type of inverter you need to implement, because the motor, the machine which you are preferring is AC. So then you need to convert the DC into AC, means you need a DC to AC type of converter topology. AC to DC to AC type of converter topology, if we need, so then we need to go with the multi-phase also we need to implement. 15 phase means 15 phase, 15 level with 15 phase type of inverter topology we need to go. So multi-level inverter topology is also already researchers they are working on it. So look at here types of some of the companies that they are giving the electrical drives in their automobile companies. So range extension, series hybrid drive modes, Chevrolet Volt company and BMW i3 company, they are preferring in their electric vehicle cars series hybrid drive technology. And full parallel hybrid drive technology, they are preferring in the Toyota Synergy drive, and mild or mild hybrid drive technology in BMW 320d, Audi A6 type of electric vehicle car, they are preferring the mild or mild hybrid drive technology. Battery type of electric vehicles, they are working on with Tesla, Faraday Future, Jaguar I-Pace. Battery type of Tesla, Faraday Future, Jaguar, I-Pace type of electric vehicle cars, they are preferred. You can look at here, this is a hybrid type of electric vehicle car. In this hybrid electric vehicle car, the components you can observe here. A 48 volt mild hybrid drive technology implemented in the Audi A6 type of electric vehicle car. So the body you can observe here. Here we need the battery size you can, if you see in this type of hybrid drive technology, the battery capacity. The battery here 48 voltage is the nominal voltage. So every battery, we have a mobile battery. In that mobile battery, it takes around 5 voltage as input. So the capacity of the battery may be 3000 to 5000 milliampere hour. In the same way, the nominal voltage here 48 voltage, but the capacity of the battery in the hybrid drive technology, it may be 8 kilowatt to or 10 kilowatt. In that range only the companies will prefer. So if you see recently in India, Mahindra company, they released in metropolitan cities Bombay. So 100 logistic purpose. So they released three-wheeler vehicles. Three-wheeler vehicles they released for goods and transport purpose. So in that type of vehicle, they preferred 8 kilowatt of the battery only. A 8 kilowatt of the battery, one time if you are charging, it will take 100 kilometers in surrounding of the city. So one time if you are charging, it will take consumption of the power, how much time? How much time it will take to charge 8 kilowatt of the battery? So if you see, if you analyze a 3500 or 5000 milliampere hour of the battery to charge our mobile battery, it takes around 2 hours of the time. If you are using the fast charging device, it will take very less time. But if you generally, whatever the charger you people are getting from the company, if you put the charger, it will take around 2 hours of the time. So then if you need to charge 8 kilowatt of the battery, so then how much time it will take? So the Mahindra company, they are telling 4 to 8 hours of the time it will take to charge fully 100%. If you need to charge that three-wheeler vehicle, it will take 4 to 8 hours of the time it will take. But in the middle of the journey, or suppose if you need to charge, if you need to reach the destination on time, the charge may be very low. So then if you take 4 hours time, means the people or the customer, they feel somewhat annoying, right? So the people will not satisfy, right? That means before they need to plan how much distance I need to travel according to that. So whether the battery is full charging or less charging. So we need to analyze whether the government, either Tamil Nadu or Andhra or Telangana or Indian government, the governments, they are providing any charging stations in our locations or not. Whether any charging station is available in our locality. So recently in budget also, the government of India, they allocated some specifically electric vehicle manufacturer. So government of India, what they are expecting coming 2025, the EV market is around 50,000 crores. So that's the reason they are focusing in all the highway, in all national highways, every 25 to 50 kilometers, they are planning to install a charging station. In the coming, replacing the petrol pumps, they are planning to install EV charging station. To that, all the big industrialist persons, uh, NTPC, these big people, they are planning to invest in the electric vehicle charging station also. Either Tata or Reliance or Adani, the people, they are planning to install some investment. They need to do some invest on the charging station, because coming years we can expect more charging station in the metropolitan cities also. So then, if you go to the charging station, it will take 4 hours of the time. The people, they are wasting their time, means it is that means the people, they need to complete their works. They need to reach the destination within the less time. Within on time, they need to complete all the things. So then only the customer, we can satisfy the customer. The people, they are ready to implement. So what happened in 2018, around 2017, in Delhi, if you observe, manufacturing of the vehicle or EVs around 1 lakh units. Out of the 1 lakh units, hardly the selling, how many vehicles they are selling, mean 10,000 only. So 10% out of 1 lakh, 10% only they are selling. So that is very less. So in 2020, everyone they are focusing. So initial stage, what happened now? So government of India, they released the FAME 1 scheme, faster adoption manufacturing electric vehicle. But even though the electric vehicle, because of the speed, the people, they need to reach fast, right? So then at the time, the electrical scooter, they travel around 40 kilometer speed. So the people, they, if they go with the 40 kilometer, they're not satisfied. They need to go with the 80 kilometer or 100 or 120 like that. So that's the reason now they come up with new technologies that drive, how we can drive the vehicle, normal vehicle. Same way we can drive the electrical vehicle also. So IIT Hyderabad also, one startup company, they are planning to release, they are working on the electrical scooters. So already they are released in the market also. You can visit the IIT Hyderabad, IIT Hyderabad or IIIT Hyderabad website, you can visit. So then we can go with the electrical scooter. So here in this 48-volt mild hybrid type technology, the battery weight will be very less, and the weight of the battery also 10 kg only. So here a system which has a motor to assist the electrical cars to stop and start the scenario. The motor power range also 25 kilowatt hour only. So the battery voltage is less than 60 voltage for the safety reason, and the battery is made up of with lithium and a nickel cadmium chemistries. So the batteries, when it comes to the battery, we have plenty of resources, lead acid resources we have. In India, around 20 million tons of lead acid resources we have, but the lithium ion resources we have very less. If we see, most of the mobile batteries we are using, those are made up of with lithium ion only. Because the lead acid battery, if you are manufacturing the product which you are manufacturing in our country, if you are utilizing the same product, means the cost may be very less. But while you are purchasing the product from abroad, so then the batteries and the raw material, lithium ion raw material, we have very less. 14,000 tons, 14,000 tons of the raw material only we have, but the majority of the lithium ion resources are available in the middle of the European countries, Australia, Chile, Bolivia. So in those countries only available, but most of these lithium ion raw material, they are undertaken by Chinese electric vehicle companies. So that's the reason Tesla company also, they're manufacturing their vehicle in China only. So they are planning to release across the globe. The company, so they are working on it, a lithium ion resource. So the lithium ion type of battery, 1 kilowatt of the battery cost itself in 2010, $1,000. 1 kilowatt of the lithium ion type of battery cost $1,000. Now, from the last 1 decade, so several people or several technologies came up. So that now the lithium ion type of battery, 1 kilowatt of the battery cost is $100. So then, if you can imagine, recently Tesla, they registered their company in India also. The Tesla Model S3 or Tesla Model S type of electric vehicle cost itself around 55 lakhs. So then the battery, they have advanced feature also, but due to that, the same way the battery cost will be half of the vehicle, because 40 kilowatt of the battery can estimate 40 to 70 kilowatt of the battery if you are using for your electric vehicle. So then you can estimate the cost of the battery, how much the battery. So the battery long life, they will give at least 3 to 5 years they will give. So 3 to 5 years, if they are giving 5 years, so that means the cycle, the total vehicle battery life cycle. So whether 1500 cycle, 10,000 or 2000 cycle or 3000 cycle, they will mention in the specification. So one cycle means one time you need to charge fully, then need to discharge. So one time if you are charging fully, discharging means then how many kilometers? If the vehicle electrical car means whether it may be traveling 500 means 500 into, so then 500 into, then you can multiply with one time if you are charging 1500 into 500 you can multiply. So then more than 2 to 3 lakhs of the kilometers we can travel, right? So here, so 3 kilometers, 3 lakh kilometers, how many years you can travel, you can estimate. So at least you people will get the life of the battery at least 5 to 6 years you will get. But after that means it will be saturated, then it will not coming, it is not giving much efficiency. One time if you are charging, it may give at after 5 years, it may give 30 kilometers only. Then you are planning to replace the battery means at that time the battery cost will be huge. So the people, the electric vehicle companies, so they are working majorly how to reduce the cost of the lithium ion type of battery. We can see here the purely battery type of electric vehicle car. You can see here the battery type of electric vehicle car, the battery backup here, the battery weight also it may be 33% of the whole vehicle. 33% of the whole vehicle. If suppose the weight of the car it is around 2000 kgs, the weight car battery itself 33%. You can imagine. So battery backup it is around 400 to 800 wattage, and the traction for this one, the traction inverter which we need to implement 100 kilowatt of the battery we need to 100 kilowatt of the inverter topology we need to implement. So and the onboard charger here to charge a 40 kilowatt of the battery or a 50 kilowatt of the battery, you need to implement a onboard charger. So the onboard charger here 3.3 kilowatt to 11 kilowatt in that range you can implement. So fast charging devices you need to implement. So if you go with the fast charging devices, within the 30 minutes of the time also you can charge the vehicle. And here we need a DC-DC converter to balance the voltage level. And the battery management system internal to the battery. So the battery management system, you can look at here for storaging purpose. What are the components of the electrical cars? So energy storaging purpose, here we have batteries, hydrogen tanks, fuel cells, supercapacitor, solar panels. We have different things are there: batteries, hydrogen tank, supercapacitor, solar panel. So we can utilize these solar panels also. You can fit on the top of the vehicle with the coating like the winds. So in the entire glass coated, you can keep the solar panel also. So PV panel. So while you are driving the vehicle, you can generate the power. So if you are getting more excess power, you can store in the battery, either battery or ultra capacitor or fuel cell also you can utilize. And the traction inverter to convert the DC to AC one. So onboard charger we need to charge the batteries from the utility grid, and the DC-DC converter to enable the power transfer between the high voltage to low voltage to the battery. So the battery, suppose why here we need a DC-DC converter topology means, if you see, if you need to drive the vehicle 100 kilometer speed, so then the power density you need to give to your vehicle more. If you need to drive the vehicle 30 kilometer speed, at that point the power density will be very low. So that's the reason here a DC-DC converter topology are implemented either step up or step down. It may be a bidirectional DC-DC converter, either non-isolated or isolated maybe, but the DC-DC converter will help to step up or step down the voltage. So here body control ECUs and the auxiliaries, air conditioning system, cabin heating system. So all these three you need to send the power supply. You have a AC in your vehicle and a cabin heating system. So to maintain the voltage levels in the entire vehicle, you need a DC-DC type of converter topology. Let's see here the traction inverter topology. So the major challenge, most of the OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, so they're till now, most of the people they are preferring the IGBT switches only. They are planning to use IGBT switches, but in recent trend, they are shifted to use silicon-based devices only. The traction inverter, here the traction inverter is responsible for converting the DC to AC. You can see here, this is a high voltage battery and this is a three-phase inverter. This is a motor inside of the vehicle. So from the high voltage battery, the traction inverter, this one. So till now, most of the people, they are using the IGBT switches. So in this IGBTs, so they are replacing with the MOSFET switches only. So compared to the IGBT, which switch is compare, if you do the comparison between the IGBT and MOSFET, which switch is more preferable one, either MOSFET or IGBT. If you see here, we have several type of power electronic switches. We have, but among those, we are preferring here MOSFET and IGBT, which is better one. What is the reason we need to know? So here the key challenge is advanced packaging methods to achieve high power densities and safe operation of the system. Achieve the high power density and safe operation of the system. Here we are. This is the big challenge. You can see here to convert this one, to convert the DC to AC. Then we need to operate the this motor means. So here we need to give the gate pulses signal. We need to give the gate pulses signal also. So how we can balance? We need to know. We need to know how to give the gate pulses. We will see in the Simulink model while discussing the MATLAB. You can see here the type of the chargers. Look at the figure here. The types of chargers here we have three type of chargers: level 1, level 2, level 3 type of charger. So once observe the figure here. If you see here, here level 1, level 2, level 3 type of charging stations also there. So in level 1, if you go to the level 1, it will take around 20 hours of the time in this Roper ID charging code. If you go with the in this one, so generally you can see your mobile battery, the charging current we are getting 2 ampere current only through our mobile charger. So in this one level 1 case, if you are using this type of charger code, 20 hours of the time it is taking. 120 voltage capability, 15 ampere. So 15 from your home itself you can charge. You can put the plug board this charger. So then you can put to the your vehicle the charging code. So but it will take around 20 hours of that time to charge a 24 kilowatt of the battery. If you go with the level 2, it is taking 7 hours of the time. But how much current you are sending? 40 ampere current you are sending. 40 ampere current, but it is fully professional one. If you go to the DC fast charging station, DC fast charging stations, if you go 30 minutes of the time, so 125 amps, 125 amp current you can send. So it is equivalent to 15 central ACs. It is fully professional one. So you can see here some of the automobile companies across the world, which type of charger sockets, where they are using AC charger socket and the DC charger socket. Here, Yazaki type of socket, JSAE 1772. Yazaki type of socket, JSAE 1772. So 7.4 kilowatt of the charger, 32 amps, single phase. So majorly Japan and United States of America, they are preferring these Yazaki type of socket, JSAE 1772. So Menakis type of socket, 44 kilowatt, 63 amps, three phase. So majorly Europe and German, they are preferring these type of charger socket. So here, Lee Grande type of socket, they are preferring 22 kilowatt, 32 amps, three phase. France and Italy, they are using Lee Grande type of socket. So charger socket, DC charger socket, if you go with the DC charger socket, CHAdeMO type of one, 400 kilowatt, 1000 volt, and 400 ampere current, CAN protocol. So CAN protocol, it is a bus system. All the parts of the vehicle will be interconnected to the CAN. And Japan and Korea, they are using. So Nissan Leaf type of electric vehicle car, Kia type of electric vehicle car, and Mitsubishi company people, Mitsubishi car company people, they are using these CHAdeMO type of chargers. So GB and T, 237.5 kilowatt. China and India, they are preferring. Mahindra company in India, Chinese electric vehicle company in here. Chinese electric vehicle company people, they are using these type of charger. Tesla supercharger, 135 kilowatt, 410 volt, 330 ampere current. And Tesla S and Tesla 3 type of model, they are preferring these type of chargers. So Tesla charging stations, we can use these type of charger circuits here. You can see here the charging station by summarizing all the point. The AC charging station, if you go with the AC charging station, that means level 1 residential case, it is taking around to charge a 24 kilowatt of the battery backup, 17 hours of the time. AC charging to level 2 commercial one, 3.1 kilowatt to 19.2 kilowatt of the battery can charge here. Okay, charging power, how much power you can, 8 hours of the time it will take. And here DC charging station level 3 supercharger. So within the 30 minutes of the time, around 120 kilowatt to 240 kilowatt of the power also you can send through that. 30 minutes of the time only it is taking. If you are installed a DC charging station, so then it will be easy here. So now you can see here. So then we will, after discussing this one, we will go with the onboard charger. So onboard chargers, if you see, the high voltage battery and a DC-DC converter topology, AC to DC converter, and we need a grid filter. So why here grid filter and here they are using the MOSFET? Suppose if you put the plug board, if you are putting any plug board, then here a grid filter they are using. So to eliminate the unwanted harmonics, they are using the grid type of filter. So here the DC-DC converter topology, if you see, we have two type of converter topology: isolated, non-isolated DC-DC. Generally in academics, we will go with the basic one is non-isolated only we will go. So most of the non-isolated converter topologies are applicable for low voltage application. So in low voltage application, we are preferring the non-isolated DC-DC converters. In high voltage application, high power application, we are going with the isolated. So here we need to know what is the difference between the isolated and non-isolated DC-DC converter for an onboard charger. You can see your mobile charger or adapter. So in that adapter itself, whatever we are talking, converter, there is a converter. So at your plug board, you are getting the AC supply, but your mobile battery need DC supply. But 230 AC supply you are getting for your home, but you are getting 2 ampere current, 5 volts only for your mobile battery. So how you are converting AC to DC you are doing, then you are step downing the voltage level. So here we need a DC-DC converter topology. So in that adapter itself, we need to keep these converter or onboard charger. So here non-isolated means, so whenever we are sending the power supply from the DC to DC also, load, from the DC to load side, when we are sending the power supply, we will, if you are using the DC link path through the elements, if you are sending the power supply, then it comes under non-isolated DC-DC converter topology. If you are able to send the power supply by using an isolated transformer or linear transformer, that ideal transformer, it will act as a mutual inductance. So through the primary coil to secondary coil, when we are sending the power supply, so then we can huge amount of the, compared to normal DC-DC converter, in isolated DC-DC converter topology, we can send huge amount of the power to the load side also. So here two type of converters are we are discussing, one by power factor correction, isolated DC-DC converter, and the resonant DC-DC converter topology. So you can see here, what is meant by resonance? If you are sending the power supply through the transformer, this is ideal or linear transformer. So this one, if you are sending the power supply, so then it will be called as a isolated converter. If you are using, suppose This is a step-up converter. So this is a step-up converter, non-isolated one. Through the elements, we are sending the power supply DC to DC load only we are sending. But if you are keeping an isolated transformer, then it will be called as a isolated DC-DC. So when we can send the power supply, maximum power supply, maximum power flow when it possible in the transformer. Maximum power flow when it possible. Maximum power transfer when it possible.
When load impedance is equal to source impedance.
Here in this, okay, sir. So you can see here, sir, the linear transformers, majorly we have two type of losses, iron losses and copper losses. Copper losses we can call variable losses also. So variable losses we can write I square R losses. I square R losses we can write. So but iron losses are pixel losses. Iron losses are pixel losses. They are depend upon V by F only. So in this one, frequency is constant. Voltage only we are sending the power supply. But iron losses are pixel losses. We can't change it. And here, the I square R losses, if we are minimizing, that means iron losses are equal to the copper losses or variable losses. If we are minimizing the losses, so then I square R losses, if we are minimizing, so then we can send the maximum power in this one. So here, resonant converter they are telling. So the resonance, we have series resonance and parallel resonance. So the transformer need pure AC supply, right? So here, in this isolated converter, here I keep series inductance capacitance. The resonance means at a particular frequency, both the inductance, if we see here, at a particular frequency, both the frequencies of inductance and capacitance magnitudes, both are equal each other means resonance will occur. Resonance. So then we will get the pure sinusoidal wave. Here, but XL we can write omega L, XC 1 by omega C. But L is always inversely proportional to C1. L always, so we need to maintain both magnitudes equal each other only. So then the resonance will occur. Here we have two type of converter topology, resonant type of DC-DC converter and phase shifted DC-DC converter topology. So here, if we have everyone open the MATLAB, so I think all the theory means it will feel bored. So coming 2 days we will discuss the as well as theory and practical. So this is the MATLAB. Everyone open the MATLAB if you already have the MATLAB. So you can look at here. This is a command window. So MATLAB have plenty of opportunities. Most of the automobile companies, so to analyze their model, physical model, so they are going with the MATLAB only. So in the MATLAB, to go with the any automobile product, so they need to test, they need to release a new product or new vehicle means. So they will go with the three type of cases: mill, the cell, and recently they added a pill also, hill. So model in the loop, software in the loop, processor in the loop, hardware in the loop. Model in the loop, we need to design the model. First, we need to design the physical model, how we are imagining. Suppose if we are implementing a onboard charger for an electric vehicle application. For electric vehicle application, we are implementing the onboard charger. So we are not implemented the car. So for that car, we are working on a onboard charger to charge fast charging purpose. Here we are using a onboard charger. So that onboard charger, we need to analyze that model in the MATLAB Simulink model. So what is the process is going, which type of control technique we are using. So whether it is in open loop condition or closed loop condition. So if you see the open loop and closed loop, both we need to test. In the open loop condition, we may get much efficiency, but the system not stable. So when we are applying the closed loop system, then the system become more stable. The system become more stable. So here in the phase shifted DC-DC converter topology, here we will see in this phase shifted DC-DC converter topology, we will see here. In this phase shifted DC-DC converter topology, this is the command window and this is workspace and this is the current directory path. So in this MATLAB, I think everyone know basic about the MATLAB. I think we have already MATLAB in our college labs also. So if you see here, all the MATLAB, it is not a pure programming language. Through the model, through the model, whatever the model we are generating now, through that model, we need to get the code actually. We need to get the code. We need to design the model. Actually, here we don't need to implement the code initially itself. So we need to design the model. Whatever the model we are designing, by using the MATLAB, we need to generate the code. So that the process is going in all, either it may be Renault or Audi or Benz or Robert Bosch or KPIT, whatever the automobile companies, they are providing the service or OEMs. So they are working on purely on model based, MBD they will call, model based design. Through that MBD, they will test the cases. They will go with the test cases. So here in this MATLAB, it is purely matrix laboratory. If you see here, so here I took a D is equals to a matrix. So if you keep here semicolon, you will not get the output. If you are not putting the semicolon, it will show 3 by 3 matrix. If suppose you people need to identify the rank of matrix, rank of D. If suppose D transpose, let's see, all the mathematical operations you can do. If you need to reduce the size, syntax, you can go to the preferences, click on the preferences, go to the font size. So then here you can keep here. You can go to the font or you can change. Okay, fine. You can see here. So to clear the command window, CLC, we need to give the command. If you need to clear the entire command window workspace, you need to give the command CLC. So here to open the Simulink, so you need to double click the Simulink. So here I will try to show the onboard charger, a advanced dual active bridge type of converter topology. Look at here. This is a bidirectional DC-DC converter. So directly I am trying to tell the onboard charger application. And we have very less time, half an hour time we have. You can see here. This is a DC output and the DC input here you can see here. This is a bidirectional DC-DC converter topology. You can see here. First, I will show the bidirectional power flow is possible or not. This is a dual active bridge type of DC-DC converter topology. So all the inbuilt blocks are available in the library. You can see here the mathematical operations. Every mathematical operation we can do. If you have an equation, we can design the model. You can see here. I will show a simple example. So we have a plus b whole square, right? A square plus b square. You can see So here we have, this is the formula, just for practicing I'm telling. A square plus b square plus 2ab, right? So this is the formula. So this formula I need to design with the MATLAB inbuilt class. This is the library browser. This is run button, and here to save the file and to open the new file. So we taken a one constant block, right? So this is A. So A square, right? Go to the library, go to the math operation. So in this math operation, you can see here, math function is there. Math function. Click on the math function. So here exponentially is there, right? You can keep square. So that means A square. Similarly, then B square you need to get. So here is B and B square. What I need to do? A square plus B square, right? So from here you have a sum block or add block. A square plus B square. So now 2AB I need to keep. So this is 2. This is 2. So AB. So that means product we need, right? You can see here. Here we have a product. In this product, 2 A, AB. So then you need to multiply, right? You can keep here 2 AB plus you need to add addition. So double click this one. Keep here positive. Okay. So then to observe the wave, the display, you need to connect a display. So this is Y. Y is equal A square plus B square plus 2AB, right? This is Y is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. So you can keep the value, whatever the value you can keep here, 5, and here 8 you are keeping. So now you can run the model. If you run fastly, if you need to run fastly simulation, you can reduce the time also, no problem. You can write text here. You can give the entire description about your model also. You can see. I hope. So all the mathematical operation, if you have a converter, you can give the KCL and KVL equation. From that you can derive some equations. With the equation, you can build the model. You can design the plant model, entire your control system. You have a transfer function, signal flow graph, time response analysis, stability, Nyquist plot, Bode plot. So whatever we have the technical subjects, we can design the mathematics. So then if you are designing the model, a plant model, whether the model is coming, the output, the desired output is coming or not means, so you can keep the display or scope also you can keep, no problem. Same way, here what I took, this is a Simulink block. Actually, not only electrical or automobile industry, so every industry people, aerospace, audio system, communication, DSP, embedded engineer, Fuzzy, and VLSI engineer, all the engineers, they are using the MATLAB. So in 2016 itself, we have more than 100 toolboxes are there. So how we are using those toolboxes? If we are good at any two to three toolboxes is sufficient. So to work on automobile industry. So Simulink here we have, then the Simscape, Simulink, Simscape here we have. In the Simscape power system, specialized technology. In the specialized technology only, so fundamental blocks, from fundamental blocks, power electronics here. These are all the power electronics and the measurements, electrical sources here, electrical sources, elements. These are the elements. And here, these are the machines. And you have measurement to measure the voltage or to measure the current and control and measurements for logical operations, filters, PLL. Every inbuilt block is available. If you don't have if you have the idea, so with that you can design the model. So here we designed a dual active bridge type of converter for onboard charger application. So this is a bidirectional DC-DC converter. So I will show the waveform, the bidirectional power flow I will show. So then I will discuss the entire control design. You can see here. It is compiling. Wait a second. Wait a second. So onboard charger application. So in this onboard charger application, the maximum power flow is possible by maintaining with 90 degree plus or minus 90 degree. So then here this is one primary side one converter, secondary side another converter is there. So this is a bidirectional. Either you can convert AC to DC or DC to AC also. So why specifically here mentioned? Why I asked which switch is better one, either MOSFET or IGBT means. So IGBT switch we people are using in high power application only. In high power application, IGBT switch is preferable. In low power application, MOSFET is preferable. You can see here the bidirection and here. So the power flow direction you can observe here. It is going in a negative path, right? You can see here. So here, this is the control technique. You can observe this is the control technique. So a 5.5 kilowatt of the DC-DC converter, isolated DC-DC converter implemented. So now I focused here positive. So then I change this is the control technique. So I keep here 1. In the power flow direction, you can see here. I keep here, when I keep 0, so digital only. So people will work on it. So the machinery language is binary only. You can see here. Initially up to 0.6. So once again I will run. The power flow direction, it is in positive. You can see here. input power and output. The reference power here we are giving 5.5 kilowatt. It will reach us to, you can see here. So this dual active bridge converter will show 98% of the efficiency. The difference you can observe here. The reference power which we keep here 5.5 kilowatt power. So if you change the kilowatt of the power also, it will vary. You can implement up to 10 kilowatt or 11 kilowatt. The difference you can observe here is very less only. So this is positive direction, power flow direction. If you change this control technique as 0, we will get a negative direction. And in this time, you can see this is high voltage, low voltage here. You can see VHV and VLV. Phase shifted dual active bridge converter here we are using. Phase shifted dual active bridge converter here we are preferring. You can see here phase shifted. So generally we have pulse width modulation technique. So here we implemented the single phase shift technique only. Single phase shift technique, and this is the current which we are sending to the transformer, isolated transformer. So it is not pure sinusoidal waveform because only inductance only, right? I can see here. This is the current. So the inductance, while the switches are turning on, the inductance is charging and discharging. You can see here. So this bidirectional DC-DC converter topology, we can utilize for onboard charging. Suppose if you are replacing this one, then if you keep a capacitor across the load, if you keep a capacitor, then a load. So then here what we are doing, suppose a 380 voltage you have. So but your battery is 48 voltage and some 30 ampere current you need to get. So you can step down also. By looking this one, it is showing is a single phase inverter, but the switches have the capability to convert. Those IGBT switches are bidirectional power flow nature switches, either AC to DC or DC to AC also. So here we implemented the single phase shift technique only. So the programmable pulse width modulation technique here we implemented. In this programmable pulse width modulation technique, you can observe here the switching frequency in the IGBTs. The switching frequency in the IGBTs here we are time period, pulse width 50%, phase delay 0. So that means you can see here the first switches, while you are turning on the first switches, these switches. So while you are turning on this switch, then you need to turn off the switches. Opposite switches only will turn on in the positive cycle. So then the remaining switches, you can see P1, P3 you are turning on. So not get P2, P4. So then switching switches here, S1, S3. S1 is turn on means S3 turn on. So switch on and off condition, here we keep 0 or 1. So according to that, the bidirectional power flow is possible. Generally, if you observe here, in the Simulink sources, we have pulse generator. Pulse generator is the heart of power electron. So while we are implementing a onboard charger for electric vehicle application, so the pulses we need to give the switches, right? So amplitude, time period, pulse width, phase delay. So if you have this pulse generator, so then you can see here, this one inside of this how we implement it. We taken a if else based condition switch, then here pulse width means in percentage only. In DC-DC converter topology, if you see the duty ratio, switch on by switch on plus switch off, right? So here the pulse width and time period, the switching frequency here we took 40 kilohertz. So then the pulse width here, 50% of the pulse width here we taken. So then here pulse we are generating. The output as pulse we created. By creating the pulse here, this switch you can see here, the switch is act as a if else based condition. First one, second one, both are the data ports only, and the middle port is the control port. When the control port is satisfied with the first port, then it will allow this signal. If it is not satisfied, it will send to this one. You can see here the pulses from the all four bridges. So the second leg, it is running with some delay, 50 e power minus 6 only. You can see here to operate the bidirectional DC-DC converter. So the middle port I took here, input to. So four legs we have. In this four legs, P1, P2, and S1, S2 here. S1, S2 we have. So then here, this for this one to get the power flow direction, maximum power flow I said, right? So the maximum power flow is possible with this formula here. You can see here. So Y is equal N V1 V2 by 2FL. So we are sending the power supply through the inductance. Number of N nothing but the number of turns ratio here. N is nothing but turns ratio N star V1 star V2 by 2FL. 2FL here. So F is nothing but the switching frequency here. So then the reference power here we keep with that duty ratio we getting. So then the reference power, how much you are keeping according to that. You can see here, this is the reference input one. This is the control port input two. So then we are giving the gate pulses for input. You can see here, S1, P1, P3, P2, P4, S1, S3, S2, S4. So total number of switches are 8. We are sending the power supply through this one. So that's the reason output power or N turns ratio we said, right? So primary by, you can see here, 50 kilowatt power we can send. Then 10 kilohertz switching frequency inside of this isolated transformer. So turns ratio is secondary by, you can see here, 420 by 60, 7, 1:7 ratio. 1:7 ratio, here we can send the power supply. So then we are operating this converter topology. The bidirectional power flow is possible here. So whatever the converters here I am discussing this thing. So you can see here, phase shifted dual active bridge converter topology. It is operating based on the phase shifted in between the bridges. It is possible, both only zero voltage switching possible. So the graph efficiency, 98% of the efficiency. What are the other techniques here we are using means single phase shift, extended phase shift, dual phase shift only. So here, but which we shown here, it is implemented in the single phase shift technique, and you can see here. So suppose if you go with the DC charging station, the DC charging station input is 380. If you are using this converter, so then the battery capacity, hybrid electric vehicle battery need 48 voltage only, right? 60 is the maximum voltage. 48 is the nominal band. So then immediately you can charge, right? You can convert the power supply within the less time. So fast charging purpose only onboard chargers are using. So the power flow directions you can see here. The maximum power flow is possible when the both modes at maximum phase shift angle 90 degree. So there are three possibilities are there. Power flow. So V high voltage leads to the low voltage means direction of power flow is in forward. is nothing but the phase shift ratio. K less than 0.5, power is increases. K greater than 0.5, power is decreases here. So low power applications, we can use the non-isolated DC-DC converter. They have very less count passive elements, but the non-isolated DC-DC converter efficiency is more, but it is very simple circuit, and the controller also is very easy. So disadvantages here, there is no protection, and that too low application only. If you need to go with the low application non-isolated DC-DC converter topology, the vehicle body model will be like this. So this BLDC motor end converter part we will discuss in tomorrow session. And as I said, so try to get the which switch is better selection of switch. So you people are the designer. So which switch is preferable one for your electric vehicle application, whether it is onboard charger or traction inverter topology, which switch is preferable one, try to find out it. So then we will discuss with the this part, BLDC motor and the motor end converter part we will discuss it. So then the DC-DC converter, but here I shown a bidirectional DC-DC converter topology with the battery charging, how to charge the battery, how to discharge the battery, we will see in the third day. So tomorrow session motor end converter. So then for tomorrow totally we will go with the MATLAB Simulink model only. So then we have less theory in tomorrow session. I hope you people are enjoy the session. So then we'll meet in tomorrow. So by 10 a.m. we will meet it. So thank you for giving the opportunity. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Thank you, sir. Participants,
Thank
if you
you.
have any doubt, you can ask now.
Regarding the onboard charger for electric vehicle or battery type of models, we have 4 type of batteries are there: lithium ion, lead acid, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride type of batteries. So those things we will see the battery. So the battery cost, as I said, high. So for an onboard charger to charge the electric vehicle within the less time. So these are the type of topology which are working on now till.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, my guide has suggested to use HAL software, Typhoon HAL software.
Hill software, sir.
Yes, sir, Hill software, sir. So actually, I'm going through it, but I'm not able to understand. But I have some idea on MATLAB.
Okay.
So both are in the same. Is it easy to understand
yes,
Hill software, sir?
Easy. It's easy only, sir. But mill, sill, and hill. Three steps are in the hill. Directly, the Simulink model you can test in the real time. In the hill Typhoon Hill software, directly you can test in the real time simulations, sir. Actually, in the MATLAB, MATLAB it is not a open source. It is a licensed version tool only. But we can get the crack version tool also. But here we will design the model. In this model itself, you can see here, sir. So in the real time, they are going with that one. They will go with the cell processor in the loop. Before that, model in the test loop also. Hill software is different, sir. But we are not using the Hill software. But it is also same way. We will get all the library blocks. We can design the model. So, but whatever the control system which we designed for our model, whether the same thing here we implemented the 5 kilowatts, sir. Around 5 kilowatt of the power we are implementing. The same thing we can't test in the hardware. It will give so much difficult while we are working on the hardware. The same thing, if we need to work on hardware prototype board, it will go because the control technique is so much difficulty. But in the hardware in the loop and a DSpace tool also there, sir. Whatever the Simulink model which we design, we can if by using those two directly we can get the real time values.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Sir, actually in a battery management system or electric vehicle, we'll use some algorithm for controlling purpose, correct, sir?
Yes, optimization algorithms.
Yes, how to implement optimization algorithm in the model-based link, sir?
In model-based design, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, here we have optimization toolbox also there, madam. In this Simulink library, we have optimization toolbox.
Okay, sir.
Neural network. Here, we need to install that toolbox, madam. Actually, optimization toolbox is there. The optimization tools we can get here. Suppose, ma'am, in the MATLAB, whatever we are telling here, in the script file is there, madam. Script. So in the script file, we need to write the entire program actually. So whether the battery lifetime, how we can test means. So SOC we can test, madam. Whether due to the battery management system, entire program we need to write in the script file. So then we need to run the simulation. According to that, we will get some prediction graphs, madam. Whether you are preferring for testing that battery management system. So we have ANN algorithms also there, madam. So if you go with the ANN algorithm, so
Yes,
then you need to train the algorithm. Actually, you need to take some data sheet within Excel. So then you need to train that algorithm. By training that algorithm, you will get the MATLAB Simulink model also.
Okay.
Here we have neural network program.
Yes,
So
sir. How the script will be script file will be included in the functions, the model based. That's what, sir. We are writing algorithm in the script.
We will write in the script, madam. If you are
Yes.
using the neural network toolbox, madam. If you are using any ANN algorithm,
Okay, sir.
by training that algorithm, automatically you will get some Simulink inbuilt block. You need to follow with some command. You will get some Simulink. So that Simulink block you need to keep in the whatever the transfer function you are keeping. In that one you need to keep.
Okay.
Before that, we have Kalman filter, extended Kalman filters also there to test the battery management system. So
Okay,
recently, ANN algorithms, most of the people they are preferring.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You can see here library, madam. Here we have neural network toolbox. You can see here, madam. This neural network toolbox, the algorithm if you train means, so then automatically you will get the Simulink block.
Okay, okay.
Okay, fine.
Sir,
Okay, sir.
can you provide
Thank you,
your contact details, sir, so that for any other information we can contact you later on.
Yes, surely, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir, thank you very much for the informative session, sir. On
Thank you,
behalf of Department of EEE Panimalur Institute of Technology, I thank you very much for accepting our invitation and for your informative session on the simulation, sir. And we hope tomorrow also we will get you back on another informative session, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And
sir, for giving the opportunity.
okay, sir. Okay. And I also thank the participants for being a part of this session. And dear participants, feedback link is posted in the chat box. So kindly go through the feedback link and fill the feedback. Feedback is mandatory for your attendance as well as for your e-certificate. So kindly go through the chat box. You are having the feedback link in it. And once again, I thank all the participants for being a part of this session. And we will meet you in the another session at 1 p.m. Thank you.